everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this Netflix review. The fact that you are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. For those of you that are unaware, I review everything that gets released on Netflix. So if you're ever curious about whether a new movie, series or show is any good, come to my channel and I will let you know. So guys, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's jump right into this review of the $1 Billion Code. So let's just break down the story quickly, and I just have to say this one hit me hard. I thoroughly enjoyed this series. I thought it was powerful. I thought it was emotional. I thought this is definitely a series that anyone can watch and enjoy. And I would say everyone has to watch this series. This is definitely one that's going to make everyone look at the world differently, both in a metaphorical sense and a physical sense and a realistic sense, because this is going to open up your eyes to the way the world actually works from a business point of view. But ultimately, we follow a group of young men, and it's their goal and it's their dream to design this software that is ultimately known as Terravision and ultimately becomes the basis for what is Google Earth nowadays. It's based on a real story, and it's ultimately a court case told over 4 episodes where these 2 men are trying to say that was our invention and Google stole it. And it's just powerful. I think the biggest takeaway from this series is how big companies trample over the individual or smaller companies. And that's something I've experienced recently, having worked with larger companies and seen how they run their companies and see how things are so unethically treated. It's heartbreaking, and this series really puts a spotlight on that. So if you're someone that loves small business and wants to constantly fight against the machine, this is definitely a series that's a rallying cry for you. This is definitely a series that you can watch and enjoy, because it's powerful and it's real world, and it's just, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words. This has probably become, to be 100% honest, I'm at a loss for words, because I thought this series was brilliant. I loved it. Everything about it was perfect, and it's at the same time so heartbreaking. So yes, I know I've already said it, but honestly, if you haven't yet watched this series, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. But let's break down into what made this series so freaking good. And we just have to say straight off the bat, the performances. This is a realistic, emotional series, and the actors really brought their A game. I was sitting here watching the series, getting engaged. I was so engrossed in the story. When I took a break to go make a sandwich, all I could think about was everything that was happening. I was so consumed by the story. I was anticipating the conclusion with such excitement. It's a whole nother ball game, this series. I've watched some great movies and great series that stick with me for days, and I can tell this is going to do the exact same. I can tell I'm going to be thinking about it for days to come, weeks even, because it's so poignant and the message it states is so clear. So we had great performances, but it's backed up by some great dialogue and a powerful story. The fact that this is based off of a real story just makes it that much more credible, that much more realistic, and you can really consume yourself in the story. At the end of the day, it's about 2 friends that face the world together. And I feel like that's a story we can all relate to. We've all got that friend or partner that we would be willing to stand up against the odds with. So it's ultimately this David and Goliath story. Will David face Goliath, and will David succeed? It's a true underdog story. If you enjoyed things like Rocky as well, you definitely have that big fight feel in this series. It's 2 guys taking on Google. It's truly inspirational, emotional, good cinema. This was great. It was fantastic. It was phenomenal. Easily in my top 5 Netflix properties from this year. What the series does so well as well is just capture the time period. This 4-episode series takes place over quite a wide period of time, and the set design was just brilliant. You really felt like you're being transported to these different eras and these different periods. So I just have to say, I'm taking my hat off and applauding everyone that was involved with the set design and the costumes, everything like that, because I genuinely thought while watching this series, I felt like I was being transported to 20th century Germany. It was phenomenal. And when we go to different countries and we interact with different people, we see different cultures, even the different accents, everything comes through so clearly. It's so engaging. So since this is a German series, of course, you're going to have to watch either with subs or dubs. Thankfully, the dubbing in the series is also really good. I think Netflix has done a great job of really getting good voice actors to basically take over the lines that are said. So honestly, you can watch this dubbed, and you shouldn't have an issue. But I know lots of people say, oh, subbed is the way to go. And again, knock yourself out. I watched half the episodes with subtitles and I watched half the episodes with the dubbing. And my enjoyment of the series was never greater or lesser depending on whether I was watching the subbed or the dubbed. I thought the series was great all around. But yes, guys, I know right now everyone is just talking about how great Squid Games is on Netflix, but I would highly recommend you just take a break from that and jump across to the $1 Billion Code, because this series was so poignant, so powerful. And I'm in no way actually comparing it to Squid Game because they're completely different properties. But I really hope that this series gets the amount of love and attention that Squid Game got, because it really does truly deserve it. But guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. You are the best. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a like if you haven't. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I hope to see you guys again in another review.